Begin, though, with our talk of the tape, whether investors should prepare for an even bigger momentum meltdown. Let's ask Liz Young, SoFi's head of investment strategy, with me here at Post 9. Nice to see you again.
You too.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
That seems to be where the conversation is, whether the momentum trade has run out of steam, and now we're going to see this rotation into laggards. What do you think?
If we're talking about the momentum trade as the Magnificent Seven of 2023 and the big tech names that brought us into 2024, then yes, I think it already has run out of steam. I think that ship has sailed, right?
Well, while you're ready, you're throwing the curtain down on it already? I mean, it was one day for NVIDIA, Liz.
I'm not done yet. So the momentum, though, if we're talking about momentum in the sense of risk appetite momentum, I don't think that ship has sailed. I think that's still here. I think that's still alive and well. So all that I think is happening right now, which may be the precursor to something else, but all that I think is happening right now is that investors are saying, I don't want out of the market. I don't want out of growth. In fact, I'd like to try to find growth wherever else I can get it, but I'm not going to be silly enough to go into things that are very obviously crowded trades, very obviously overbought. So let me go try some other things. So there's rotations going on within sectors, which is exactly what's happening in tech right now, and there's also rotations going on amongst sectors.
Do you think the NVIDIA reversal on Friday marked a change in a trend for the market? I'm talking not so much momentum behind the rally itself, but the factor of momentum. Stocks that since November 1st, for example, almost anything tied to AI, and especially if you look at the direction of many of these chip stocks, it's not just NVIDIA. I mean, you could Taiwan Semi, AMD, Micro, I mean, so many of these other names just went to the moon. And seemingly everything went with it. That's related to, growth, momentum. Is that going through a reversal?
I think a lot of it hinges on the direction of NVIDIA. Don't underestimate the, rising tide lifts all ships, and then the guilty by association trade as well. So if NVIDIA was the one driving most of this and keeping the enthusiasm up, then yes, for it to give some back, I don't think it should be a surprise that the rest of the chip sector also gave some back. But I also don't think it's a surprise that people didn't throw in the towel entirely on tech. I think that people are still willing to be present for that. And even if we think the market is extended, which I think it's difficult to find anybody who says it's not extended broadly at these PE levels, at this level of yields, even if we think it's extended, that doesn't mean it has to stop. It's just that certain parts of it may need to slow down a bit. And we're in a market, I think we talked about this on Halftime last week, where I remember 2 years ago, maybe even less than that, we were talking about, well, can the market go up without Apple? Yes, it can. Now we're talking about, can the market go up without NVIDIA? We're finding that out right now. So far,
do you think it can?
1 day, 1 or 2 days, right?
Do you think it can?
I do think it can if the rotation trade stays intact, but that also depends on whether or not the economy continues to go, because the rotation trade, in order for a broadening out to be effective and durable, would need to include cyclical sectors, which it has in part, right? Industrials have participated.
In a lot. I mean, materials are up 7.5% in a month. Energy's doing great. Financials have done better. Industrials have done quite
Industrials
well.
have been doing well for a while. The materials and energy trade is a little bit newer. That would have to continue. And if the rotation goes into cyclical sectors like that and keeps it durable, then yes, I do think the market can go up without NVIDIA. But that doesn't mean that in the meantime that sentiment wouldn't be bruised. We've been throwing all of our eggs into that basket, and I think it would make people nervous if NVIDIA went down quickly.
Are you more positive than not on the market now, or no?
In the short term, I guess my answer would be yes.
Good day. 8% gain over the past year, and an almost 90% gain over the past 6 months. Today it did break out. It came lower. It was trying to break out of its upper channel over here and go higher, but it just came back in and started trading at its lower channels. NVIDIA has been a very, very strong stock through the past year. They've come up with great earnings, great revenues, and their increase, the 273.5% increase over the past year is totally justified. They have also increased their expectations through the year. So it has shown incredible strength right throughout the year. So just one bad day doesn't necessarily, or bad week, it's been 5 days since it's been dropping, 3% drop over the past 3 days. it could be a good time for people being missing out on nvidia's gains to come back and start investing their money in there. People have been all bearish on the stock market and are trying to get in on the action. Well, this might be a good time to get in. I feel, especially if you're looking to get into the Max 7. A lot of Max 7 stocks have dropped through the week since last week. So just going back to nvidia over here, it has had a bad day, but it is just trading it through its lower channel. It is sort of bearish, but it has been a very strong stock, so I wouldn't say it is lost a lot of steam. Moving on to Netflix now. Netflix through the month, since the beginning of the month, has been sort of trading sideways. It has tried to break out over here on the 1st of March towards the beginning of the month. It tried to break out of its upper channel over here, as you can see, but then came right back down and broke through its lower channel over here and traded there for a while till the end of 5th of March, and it came right back up and it started trading sideways. You could see maybe over towards the end of the closing day, it started setting a new bearish trend. It broke down out of its lower channel over here, and towards the end of the day there was a huge selling volume over here. So you could see Netflix go lower tomorrow or even throughout the week. And Netflix is a stock that has been quite strong through the year as well. 100%, 105.26% gain. It only dipped today. Another stock that has only had a bad day, so not necessarily lost its steam. Moving on to Microsoft. Microsoft has had about 62.73% gain over the past year. If you look at it since the beginning of the month over here, it's been from about the 4th of March. It's had a significant downturn over here. It traded outside of its lower channel and traded there for the whole of the 5th of March. It came right back up and traded sideways, consolidating till today. You could see Microsoft trading sideways or even dropping lower through the day. I think if you go through today towards the end of the day, Microsoft was selling off quite significantly, and this does show this candlestick over here. It does represent a bearish trend, so, and a huge selling volume. So you could see Microsoft trade even lower tomorrow. But it has had good gains through the past 3 months, the last 1 year, 62.73% gain. Moving on to Amazon. Amazon from the beginning of the month has been quite decent, but it has been trading through its lower channel, breaking down through its lower channel today and sort of consolidating. But Amazon has been doing very well through the year, 90% gain. It has been one of those lower gainer of the 7 Max 7 stocks. If you look at it through from the beginning of the year, it has about gone up, and it broke out of its upper channel over here on the 2nd of February and tried to go higher, but it then came back to its EMA and has been trading through its EMA ever since the 13th of February. So if you start to see Max 7 weakening, you will see Amazon dropping even more. But Amazon has been doing well, and but over the past month, as you can see, it has lost about 1.41%. Over the short period, you could see towards the end of the day, again, a bearish trend being set over here, breaking out, trading in its lower channel over here, and then breaking out of its lower channel, then uh, just trading through its lower channel. So you could see maybe Amazon even going lower tomorrow, since there was a high selling volume over here towards the end. So Amazon could potentially go even lower. So this could be a good time for people who have been bears or have been at the sidelines for a while to get in on the Max 7 and put in their money. If you've been a bear, or if you've been sitting on having your money on the sidelines, waiting for stocks to drop, good 4 or 5%, it could go lower. These stocks could go lower, but I would start building up a small position in all of these, just so that you could start building up a good position, and through the year you could be having good gains. So I don't think these stocks will keep dropping quite significantly. I think they're just taking a break, and they could come down maybe 4 or 5%, and people on the sidelines could a good opportunity for them to come back into the market. Moving on to Tesla. Tesla has had a very very average year, to say, so to speak. Tesla has faced problems and a weaker market in the Chinese market, a weak Chinese market, which has been a very important market for for Tesla, pardon me, has impacted their business. They've had lower production, lower deliveries, and you could see that impact on their stocks. It has been, ever since the beginning of the year, it has had a significant bearish trend, breaking out of its lower channel on the 24th of January, and then coming back into its lower channel and consolidating. But lately it has been moving lower. You could see over here, it moved lower, breaking out of its lower channel, and coming back up. High buying volumes over here, which could mean that investors are willing to buy back into the market at around 170, 177 sort of price, at 177 sort of price for Tesla. So that could be a sign for bottoming out, and this is a good sign for Tesla trying to break out tomorrow. You could see Tesla moving higher tomorrow. It's over the past 6 months, it's been trading much lower, as I said, because of the weaker Chinese markets. But it does seem as though it's going to have a good comeback for the week, or for even tomorrow. Moving on to Apple, ever since denouncing its move into its automotive plan, or denouncing its EV plans, it has dropped in value. It has come down. The stock has traded lower. If you see, since the beginning of the year over here, it has set up a bearish trend, but moving out of its lower channel on the 1st of March. So at the beginning of the month, it broke out of its lower channel and kept going lower and lower and lower. It seems to be consolidating right now, but over a short period of time, you could see it has come down significantly. Over the last month, it has lost about 8.53%. Over the last 3 months, lost 10%. So Apple is one of those, again, facing tough conditions in China, a weak Chinese market, lower sales in China. And remember that Apple was also facing backlash from the Chinese government, and how it was portraying Apple and American cell phones and American companies within the Chinese market. So Apple and Tesla have been facing significant challenges in significant challenges in China, which reflect on their stocks. You could see over here there is a huge buying volume over here, and there is huge broadening between 173 and 172 over here. So it could be trading between these volumes for a while. Moving on to Google. Google has been another controversial stock with its AI image generating tool, Gemini. And you could see from the beginning of the year, it just broke out on the 1st of March when the controversy started coming out. It broke out of its lower channel, huge selling volumes, and trading it through its lower channels. And then as the week passed, it started to recover slowly but surely. If you look at it over the short period, You could see it again setting a bearish trend, going lower, trading through its lower channels. A huge selling volumes here, huge volumes over here. So the bearish trend could continue for Alphabet and Google, especially if the Max 7 start to lose steam. So that's one of the key questions. Have the Max 7 lost steam? So this week will be very crucial for these kind of stocks. I think the market is definitely broadening out. You will see industrials, financials, mid caps, and small caps performing much better. The Max 7 have had significant gains over the past 1 year, and a lot of people are trying to look for value somewhere else, and they could end up moving their money into small caps, mid caps, Bitcoin, or even places like financials and industrials to see those gains. And talking about how weak the market are, have the markets been weaker, or are they going to become weaker? Well, margin debts have increased over the past month, and but margin debt as compared to as a percentage of market value haven't really gone up or are at a healthy stage. So you could see stocks still going up through the year, and I think we're still good for the next 6 to 12 months before we see anything like a recession or a significant downtrend. And if you're looking to get into the stock market, right, I think this is a good place in the stock market, a good chance to get in and get in on some gains, because I think good gains are going to come in once the next earning calls come in, once a lot of the interest rate starts cutting down, and we see that inflation has been coming down quite significantly. So you will see stocks keep going up, rather Russell 2000 going up and S&P 500 keep going up. Yes, this could be a short break, maybe a 5 to 7% down. Stocks coming down 5 to 7%, but that could be a good chance for people who have been bears right throughout the year to jump onto the boat, or people who have been on the sidelines for a while to come on and start making some money. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much for joining me today, and have a good day.